In a quiet village nestled between rolling green hills, there lived an old clockmaker named Elias. He was no ordinary craftsman. His clocks were masterpieces, their golden gears so precise that even kings and merchants from distant lands sought his work. But Elias had a secret. He was obsessed with time. To him, every second mattered. Every moment had to be accounted for. He believed that if he could perfect time, he could control everything. His shop was filled with thousands of ticking clocks, small pocket watches, towering grandfather clocks, delicate golden timepieces, each one crafted with precision and care. But Elias never left his shop. He never stopped working. He never allowed distractions. His only mission in life was mastering time. One evening, as the warm glow of his oil lamp flickered against the polished brass of his newest masterpiece, a magnificent golden clock, he heard a soft creak at the door. A small boy stood there, curious, wide-eyed, hesitant. His name was Finn. Finn was no ordinary child. He had a heart full of curiosity and a mind full of wonder. Unlike Elias, he didn't worry about time. He chased fireflies, skipped stones by the river, and laughed without counting the minutes. Yet something about Elias's shop had always fascinated him, a place where time stood still. Finn's eyes scanned the walls filled with ticking clocks. "Sir, why do you make so many clocks?" he asked, his voice filled with innocent wonder. Elias smirked. "Time is the most valuable thing in the world, boy. If I can control it, I can control everything." Finn frowned. "But what do you do with all this time you control?" For the first time in years, Elias paused. Days passed, and Finn kept visiting. Every evening he would sit and watch Elias work. But then something strange started happening. Elias noticed that his clocks weren't behaving as they should. One clock ran too fast, ticking ahead as if racing toward the future. One had stopped completely, frozen in time. And one clock, Finn's favorite, ticked in a steady, rhythmic pulse, like a heartbeat. Elias frowned. Clocks didn't behave this way. At first, he thought it was a mistake. Perhaps a loose gear, a miscalibrated spring. But no matter how many times he adjusted them, the clocks kept reflecting his own life back at him. The one that ran too fast mirrored his own life. Days slipping by in a blur, lost in his work. The one that stopped reflected the time he wasted chasing perfection, never satisfied. And the heartbeat clock? It only ticked when Finn was in the shop. It was as if the clock only came alive when life was present. For the first time in 40 years, Elias felt uncertain. That night, Elias stayed up, determined to find the problem. He took apart the strange clocks, examined their gears, recalibrated them. But no matter what he did, they refused to behave normally. The candlelight flickered as he sat in silence, staring at his creations. Then realization struck him like a thunderclap. He had spent his entire life crafting timepieces, but had never truly lived within time. He had measured time, controlled time, built time, but he had never felt time. How many sunrises had he missed? How many stories had he never heard? How many moments had slipped through his fingers while he chased perfection? As the first light of dawn crept through his window, Elias made a decision. For the first time in 4 decades, Elias did something unthinkable. He closed his shop. He stepped outside, shielding his eyes from the morning sun. For the first time, he noticed the world. The blacksmith's hammer ringing in the distance. The laughter of children playing near the well. The fresh scent of bread from the baker's shop. It was all there before, but he had never seen it. Finn spotted him from across the village and ran over, grinning. "I didn't think you ever left your shop, sir." Elias chuckled. "Neither did I." That day, they walked together through the village. They skipped stones at the river. They talked about nothing and everything. And for the first time in his life, Elias wasn't watching the minutes. He was living them. A week later, Elias mounted his golden masterpiece outside his now closed shop. The inscription below it read, "Time is not to be kept, it is to be spent." From that day on, Elias was no longer just the clockmaker. He was a storyteller, a friend, a part of the village. His clocks no longer controlled him. He controlled his own time. And as he sat by the river, listening to Finn's stories and watching the sun dip below the hills, he finally understood the true meaning of time. He had spent a lifetime measuring time, but now he was finally living it.